We're in the basement now of a place called the Sandbar in Elmira, New York. This bar used to be the High Bar, the famous High Bar. We're looking at a furnace that's in the basement of this property. I bought this property at a foreclosure sale about 5 or 6 years ago. And we've been fixing up everything since that time. Currently, the building is heated and cooled by a York Luxair rooftop package cooling unit. It's quite efficient and does the job very well. But we got, originally this, before they installed that system, there are two Carrier 398A furnaces in the basement here that would heat the building. Now, they haven't been in use since the upstairs unit was installed in around 1995. This is a 1985 furnace. To our knowledge, it has not been run in 27 years. So we're trying to get this thing running. So we might want to have it for a variety of different reasons. We might want to take the rooftop unit out altogether and go back to these. We might want an extra backup heater in case the upstairs unit needs to be serviced for some reason in the middle of the winter. Anyway, when we got started on this project, you see this thing here? Okay, that's called a fan blower inducer motor. That didn't exist. It wasn't there. There was a gas valve over here, but when we tested it, it was leaking badly. So we had to take it out. So the first thing we did then was to wanted to have a look at this thing, and we know we had some service techs over here from the natural gas companies, and they said, forget about it. You know, what if you get into it? What if you get into it and you find the heat exchanger is bad? What are you going to have to say then? So we let them go. They also said, you know what this part here costs? Do you have any idea what this part costs? Well, if you were to buy that fan blower inducer motor at full market value, it would be about $450. But as far as I was able to get one for $140 on eBay. That's brand new. Now, as far as the heat exchanger goes, yes, that is a concern. Why get into this thing if the whole heat exchanger, the central element of the furnace, is no good? So we decided to have a look at that first and see if we could test it. So what we did here's your heat exchanger. And what we did here, to test it before we put all money into it, was to take a flame, stick it inside of each tube, okay? And then we were able to jump start the blower motor alone to an electric plug outlet using a little gizmo like this. Some alligator clips attached onto an old extension cord. So when we did that, we found that indeed there was nothing wrong with the heat exchanger. So the heat exchanger will, if the heat exchanger is cracked or broken, the blower motor is going to be forcing all kinds of air through it and up through the exit vent, the heating vent. And if they're cracked, that flame is going to start being drawn or flickering in a certain direction. So we went through all these pipes, and down here on the secondary heat exchanger, which is behind the blower motor, we did the same thing there. I wasn't able to detect a flicker of movement. Thereby, we know the heat exchanger is good. So our first step was to replace the fan blower inducer motor. We've got another furnace just like this one on the other side of the building. Uh, we changed the gas valve from that one over there. When we took it out, we found that one was no good either. I was able to get a gas valve for this thing for $75 used on eBay. Okay. Now we did a little more testing. The furnace wouldn't start. So we replaced this thing here. We tested this thing here. That was no good. It had a hole in it. We had that spare one over on the other furnace, which we took over and put over here. Still wouldn't start. Now the very next thing we did was we took the top off here. Ordinarily this is covered. It has a box going over it and so on and so forth. So we took that off. We're thinking maybe the flame sensor is at fault because we could see through the hole that we're getting a pilot burner light out of the flame sensor, which is over here. Took it off. We cleaned the flame sensor up, but we also found a bunch of other suspicious stuff. When we had this thing off, they had this thing here. I don't know what it's supposed to do, but we had a couple of miscellaneous parts were lying around on top of this thing. Like so. Here, like that. Never seen anything like that before in any kind of a furnace. So, we gotta get this thing out of here now. There we go. And these just sit there like that for now. So, now we're up to the final step. Let's see whether this furnace will in fact ignite after 27 years sitting in this basement without any use. Alright, so let's shut this thing on, turn this thing on. Alright, that's the fan blower inducer motor running now. You see here, pilot. Please turn on. Now we gotta wait a few seconds, maybe 30 seconds to a minute, for the vacuum. See whether the vacuum will get sufficient. Over here, your pressure switch, if the vacuum is enough, you'll start seeing that will open up a switch that will allow the main gas valve to open. Let's count. 1, 2. There we go. We have ignition. 27 years furnace running. Now I still don't hear the fan blower motor turning, and that is essential to keep the heat exchanger from cracking and becoming molten, and to send all that heat up onto the floor. So, let's see. We gotta wait and see whether that motor comes on. Now, one thing I can tell you about a bar. See, we bought this bar at a foreclosure sale about 5 years ago. We've been trying to sell it, but the problem is people looking to buy a bar, they're either two classes. One is they're a mama's boy with their thumb up their asses, and you know they have to call a plumber to fix the toilet, the leak in the toilet. Or number two, there's some kind of wheeler dealer flippers, property flippers. Oh, there we go. The furnace is on. Now this furnace is working after 27 years. Really, this video is about waste and inefficiency. Why people would let a perfectly good furnace sit for 27 years and declare it to be a piece of junk when it works fine. But like I said, the second type of people are the flippers. They want to come in here and buy a property, you know, at bargain basement value. When only their heart's desire is to own and run a bar, but they want to come in here and make these ridiculous lowball offers. and try to get this place, and then turn it over. Good luck. But as you see, the video is about waste and about financial motives more so than about a furnace. So visit us on the web, worldwideweb.thesandbarpub.com. We will be reopening for business soon.